like the Alzheimer's Association is driven by mission to help provide as much resources as possible for us, and then also fight the fight. Both of us were totally unaware. I heard of this disease. I knew this disease typically was something that maybe impacted elderly people. We really did not know many people with the disease until Anthony's aunt, who was in her 70s, was diagnosed. But even then, we were not very close to her in terms of location, so we didn't understand what was happening to her. And so now that we know, we want to spread the word. We want people to understand this is not just for individuals over 70 years old. This could be for someone who's getting ready to retire, like we were, traveling, and now have to take a total, look at their life and the changes that they need to make in order to support this disease. I noticed memory loss. I noticed some language deficiencies. Anthony forgot our anniversary date, and so it was funny at first. But then even after I told him the date, I would go back and ask, so I was seeing some cognitive disorders or cognitive issues early on. The biggest trigger was the GPS. Driving down to the shore, we have a shore home in Sea Isle. Anthony could no longer read the GPS. And so I was not really sure what was going on, and that was probably the most impactful. And here it turns out that he has a visual spatial variant of the disease, so it makes a lot of sense now. But going back, I think those were the first signs, and then of course, since then, we have seen some other things. March of 2022 is when I said, you need to go to a neurologist. But he came back from the neurologist and they said everything was fine. They did an MRI. Well, an MRI doesn't detect Alzheimer's. And then he went back by himself. I didn't know at the time. And now I know he forgot what they had told him to do. So I made a call to them. And so my lesson learned there is, and again with the doctor, I think if there's a diagnosis of memory loss, you probably should reach out to a loved one or someone to make sure that whatever they heard in the appointment is what actually happened, because he couldn't remember. So we lost about 4 months of not realizing he needed to escalate his diagnosis or he needed to escalate his care to someone else.
Yeah, it's been a long journey, yeah. I was very surprised. I was very surprised when I heard I had this. And I have my good days and bad days. I'm 56 years old.
Anthony's had his third Linkembi infusion. So we're going to be, on this journey, and we're hearing great things, so we are hopeful. We're hopeful. It's very difficult when you're the caretaker. The children need to be protected because there's a grieving process. His parents need to be protected. Everyone needs to be protected, but me. And so coming here and listening to even the welcome session was an eye-opener for me. So I want to go again and build some community awareness so people understand that if you cannot speak to the loved ones, there are other resources, support groups. I've met several people who are in my same situation here, and that is just so impactful. It's giving me hope, and it's also giving me the understanding that there's someone I can talk to, because unfortunately, the caretakers do not always have a support system around them of the immediate family. So since then, we have been on a journey to learn as much as we can to meet and reach out to as many supportive people that we can, and to also become a resource for really other caretakers who are my age, who have no idea what to do when this diagnosis overcomes the entire family, and you're hit with it, and your entire life changes within one doctor's appointment. I will say, as the caretaker, and you're not really sure you are a caretaker yet, you grieve. You grieve your old life. You're like, well, what happened? Where's my husband? He used to be able to do this. And that grief turns into a little bit of anger and not a lot of patience. And so I think my hardest day, I apologized to Anthony and said, I am so sorry for not understanding that this isn't your fault. And so I think that was my light bulb moment.
I mean, the kids are really on this too.
They've been very supportive.
They've been very supportive.
We have 6 children, and each one of them have helped us in different ways, and providing not only support but laughter and hope. And we all understand now, materialistic things do not matter.
Yeah.
It's time, quality time. And so we have shifted our focus on seeing them more, spending more time with your family, spending more time with the kids, and just really focusing on, one day at a time, making memories. We talked about you doing more, right?
Yeah.
When we went back today, we talked about
I'm going to get involved.
Anthony getting involved. Now that he's retired, this is a great outlet for him, and you can help people in our community who may also have the diagnosis, or help caretakers. I'm getting more involved with The Longest Day, so we're just going to take it as far as we can, and hopefully our story will really impact others, just like some of the other stories that I've heard. Donating and building more donations has really helped us get through some of the agony of dealing with his age and being so young, and understanding like we just do not know what our future holds.
And I'm going to beat this thing. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to beat it.